Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Neuvillette. Neuvillette never really thought that he would see you do something so foolish. And yet, here it was. You were in a hurry. And that's why you had slipped and fallen down and injured your knees. He had to witness it in all real time. And then he heard a scream after, and you were crying, and he was freaking out. It took all of his sanity to just stay calm and pick you up, shushing you gently and telling you repeatedly that you'll be just fine. You'll be okay. I'm healing you as you go. We'll go to Cedrine, and then she will tell you what to do. Are you sure, Neuvillette? Really? I'll be fine? You'll be great. I promise. Many people face the same problem, and they're all okay in the end. I'm sure you'll be fine. You just need some time to heal. He says. He's honestly not really good at this. He's freaking out internally as well, but he's doing his best to remain positive. He really does not want to make you upset or scared by any means. That's why he's careful with his words and tries his best to reassure you. Now, would you please just take a deep breath until we go? Just keep doing that, please. You cling to him, crying, but you do your best to calm down as he says. And then, once you're there and finally arrive, Cedrine does her best to heal you and to take care of you as well. And once she's all done, she smiles. You'll be just fine. And Monsieur Neuvillette, I am sure that you can take care of her, right? She needs to be under someone's care for now, as she cannot walk around on her own. It'll probably be 2 weeks until she could, she says. And he looks a little bit sad. Not because he's taking care of you, but because you won't be able to walk for 2 weeks. But he nods in the end, thanking Cedrine, and finally taking you home, kissing your cheek as he carries you in his arms. You're alright, Wayan. See? You'll be just fine. Thank you, Neuvillette. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't have you by my side. Well, you don't have to worry about that. I will always be by your side, he says, reassuring you and managing to put a smile on your face. He's always been so good at this, knowing perfectly what to say and how to soothe your heart and ease your worries, just as he did right now. And perhaps you did not have to worry so much as you did initially, but there's something to learn from this in the future, and it was definitely to be more patient, so as not to risk any more injuries happening again. Once you're home, he takes great care of you, to an extent that it's a little bit too much. He makes you the food, even carries you around, and tries his best to be with you at all times. And when he has to go to a trial, he leaves someone with you, usually a Melusine. And you know, just from the amount that he's taking care of you, and how greatly worried he seems, that you're very loved, and you always will be with him. Wriothesley actually was a little bit surprised at seeing it happen, but immediately he had swooped you into his arms and told you that you'll be okay. He was pretty collected. He has seen a lot of things, and he was quite sure this would heal up fast, except you were literally crying, and he had to do a lot of work to reassure you, kissing your forehead and bringing you close to his chest, telling you over and over that you'll be okay and that it will not be some permanent injury. He could tell that you were afraid of that. And it just said a lot about what kind of injuries you've gotten before and how none of them were like this. So he tried his best to be reassuring and to be kind. You'll be just fine, I promise. You know Cedrine. She'll do a great job of taking care of you. You trust her, don't you? I do. Promise me I'll be fine. Please, you say. And he takes your hand in his own, kissing your palm. I promise you. Now come on. Just calm down. Once we get there, you'll be alright before you even know it. And quite surprisingly, as you said, Cedrine immediately responded to his calls, and she was taking care of you now. In a way, you really thought this would be worse, except it was simply not really anything for her to worry about. See, you just need to take care of yourself. Make sure not to walk on it anytime soon. I'm sure you can stay with someone who'll take care of you for the time being, correct? Yes, Cedrine. I will actually be keeping her here for a while before taking her back to the surface. You'll keep me in Mirapide? I didn't know I'd be going to prison for a broken leg. Well, that's your fault. Next time, try being careful. Then you won't go to prison, he says, chuckling at you. And it made things a little bit lighter. You no longer felt the pain in your leg, and you knew with Cedrine taking care of you, you'll be just fine, like nothing ever happened. And that was all thanks to him. And you knew that without him, you'd honestly be somewhere else entirely. Maybe it was someone who had no healing powers at all, which was not really that great to think of it. But now that you were with him, you certainly did not have to worry about that possibility. So he hooked you after that. And from the look of it, he was doing his best to actually try to free up his time. So he'll be taking good care of you later. And you could only feel grateful for that effort and for the amount of consideration. Not to mention, he had already started being so affectionate with you, spoiling you in any way that he can. And you knew that this 1 or 2 weeks in Mirapide will actually be better than any of those you spent on the surface.